All right, hello everyone, and now welcome to Game 3 in the series between Karon versus MVP. Game 3 taking place here on Achillean Waste, as Lucifron has spawned as the red Terran player on the bottom right-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Bang has spawned as the blue Terran. Terran versus Terran matchup. This should be, for all intents and purposes, a very, very interesting game, as the game is now underway. And what are we going to be seeing here? Bang so far taking a huge chunk out of Lucifron's team, giving MVP a very comfortable 2-0 lead. Will he be able to make it a almost insurmountable 3-0, or will Lucifron fight his way back in? Give me one moment. Alright, sorry about that. And I will have to pause the game one more time a little bit later, as life does call. But right now, let's take a look at what's happening here. Bang spawning as the blue Terran, and he has gone for a front door supply depot, but nothing else just quite yet. I would be very surprised if I saw a command center first build here, as it will most likely just be a barracks here on the front door. Meanwhile, it looks like Lucifron doing the same exact thing. And what would you know, a mirror match where both players are doing the same first two buildings at about the same time. Now, it does appear that Lucifron has a slight advantage in terms of mining, as he did get his refinery and was able to train up that SCV faster. And it really has to do with the double up on these closer mineral patches. You can see Lucifron currently doubled up all there. Meanwhile, over here, there was one mineral patch I do not believe was doubled up. But then again, it is all still rather close, as Bang and Lucifron also taking about the same time to scout. Alright, so this mirror match is so far exactly that. Orbital commands will be upgraded at about the same time. Wait, there you go. No, Bang actually coming out slightly ahead there. So a little bit of give and take. So far, not much of an advantage to write home about, as both sides doing relatively similar build orders. Now, let's take a look at what's going to be happening here. Marines still coming down, and that SCV is going to be forced to retreat. And this is a good move by Bang. You may be wondering, hey, if the SCV can't scout anything, why would the SCV just still be sitting here? Well, the idea behind it is you want to see what that first unit is. If you do see that it is not a Marine and you hang around there for quite some time, you're like, you know what? The only other thing that can be trained is a Reaper. And if it is a Reaper, I should probably get going already. Otherwise, you know what? I can, in fact, just stick around here a little bit, see that it is a Marine, and go, you know what? You're not going to be doing any sort of crazy Marine play or Reaper play that I am unaware of. So let's just continue playing this game pretty much straight up. Now, the factory is being built off to the side here by Bang. I am curious as to why he's opted to hide his factory. Meanwhile, we are going into a command center by Lucifron. Building placements always tell a bit of a story, and we now see a starport coming in with a tech lab. Now, you don't have to be a genius to know that Bang's only two options for building off of a tech lab starport without a fusion core anyways is either a Banshee or a Raven. Now, even though Widow Mines have become very, very popular, I would be very surprised if we saw an early Raven. I do expect it to be a Banshee play, and that does seem like an old Wings of Liberty build, but we have seen that Bang does like those old Wings of Liberty build. Alright, so what is it going to be? Is it going to be? Yes, it is going to be Cloaking Field in addition to a Banshee now, so it is going to be one base Banshee without a command center. So Bang is really, really looking to do a tremendous amount of damage here. If he does not do a tremendous amount of damage, he's going to be very far behind, as Lucifron already has his orbital command upgrading. Now, this is a very, very dangerous situation to be in. You can see that the Hellions are just still wandering around here. Command center finally coming in from Bang. He is, I would say, about 2 minutes behind in terms of his expansion timing, and he will be down a couple of SCVs. Now, Lucifron is going to definitely benefit. He's going to lift off land, be able to start training up more and more of those SCVs. Lucifron does lose a little bit of time since he does have to land this in position. Meanwhile, this command center has already landed and is ready to go. Let's see, the timing is going to land right now. So, 55 seconds plus another 50 for the upgrade, so only about 100 seconds behind as opposed to the original 120. In comes the Banshee, and all of a sudden Lucifron goes, you know what, I need to get this engineering bay up, and I need to get missile turrets up pronto, otherwise I'm going to be in trouble. Viking already being trained, the Banshee already picking off a couple of Marines. That's 2, but this is not yet quite enough damage to really do much. You can see SCVs now getting picked off one at a time. Is it going to perhaps be able to take down the SCV that is building that missile turret? That is going to be the key question there, as the missile turret has been completed. One volley, one round of attack. Meanwhile, there is a missile turret already at the natural expansion, and Bang has gotten 6 worker kills, but that is nowhere near enough. In comes the Hellions. The Hellions scout that there is only one SCV, gets the easy kill there. But this is really not what he's looking for. All right, going after the reactor now. The reactor taking a bit of damage. The Banshee does get shot down. And let's take a look at the losses. MVP Bang losing 450 compared to Lucifron's 800. But you got to account that there is Cloaking Field currently researched as well. So count that as you may. The losses are about even. All right, siege tanks and Marines now making their way forward as the Vikings now need to back off. This may actually catch people a bit off guard, as we now see that the barracks is taking a bit of damage. All right, siege tank, is it actually going to try to siege up onto the high ground here? Yes, simply walking up onto the ramp, and it will be able to do quite a bit of damage. Let's see what's going to be happening here next. The Marines going after the orbital command here. Both sides are engaging, and this is looking to be a very, very dangerous fight as the Banshee now getting revealed once more. All right, in comes the Hellions. In comes the attack. Hellbat drops straight inside the line here. Beautifully done, and this is going to get cleaned up in just a matter of seconds. Vikings now landing, and Lucifron playing this absolutely beautifully, cleaning up this attack, and now letting those Vikings go back up into the air. One of those things where you do not see many Terran players using that VTOL ability to land all of their Vikings to add a little bit more DPS. Now, this one, barracks, looks like it will get pushed back, as I will be forced to pause the game here. You guys won't know the difference, but I'll be back sometime soon. Alright, hopefully you guys don't notice much of a difference, as the pressure is still on. MVP Bang has now finally retreated back to his own side. Back over here, Lucifron doing a great cleanup on the front. What looked like a very, very quick siege. Lucifron using that VTOL once more, getting a little bit of extra DPS, also dropping a Hellbat in the mix off of the medevac. And this is one of the things that we haven't been seeing that much as of late. But Lucifron now coming in with Hellbat drops of his own. How much damage will this do, as the Hellbats are now going to simply be coming in? All right, there you go. Hellbats dropping on top of Marines, and so much damage. All the Marines have been cleaned up and cleared out here. All right, Viking not yet shooting this down, and it looks like a lot of SCVs will get taken down. Meanwhile, another drop coming in from Lucifron here at the other side, and the medevac does make its way back out just in time. Lucifron with 13 kills already, as the medevac is going to try to finish up the rest of those units there. All right, siege tanks now finally being brought over. Bang, not mining from any base whatsoever, finally going to be called over in just a moment. Oh, tries to get picked up, but a Viking does come over and gets the kill. So far, this game has been very entertaining. The Vikings now looking to perhaps clear the skies of any other drops. If a drop does happen once, you might as well suspect that it will happen twice or 3 times, as Lucifron flying straight into the Viking of MVP. Oh, they are both just out of range of each other. This is absolutely hilarious. Lucifron now coming in, and oh, the Viking is going after the medevac. Medevac now finally backing away, as we do see the Hellion trying to do a quick run in. Quickly gets taken down, as a new orbital command has been established at the 3rd. Lucifron now already upgrading his orbital command will be landing at the 3rd as well, as Hellbats go to town on some destructible rocks. Siege tanks and Marines on the move. Bang is looking very strong right now, but Lucifron with some impressive plays of his own. Double Vikings in order to clear the lone Viking here, and Bang is going to be in a little bit of hurt. As you can see, this one Viking will get taken down, but Lucifron actually not engaging with the superior Viking, and that is going to be a little bit of an issue as we once more see Lucifron come in with that Hellbat. SCV's very, very good response, already backing away once again, as the medevac's like, you know what, I don't really need to take down SCVs as long as I prevent a bit of mining, as a new missile turret will be placed. Alright, siege tanks and medevacs now making their way off here. How much damage will be dealt? Siege tanks are in position. Lucifron ready to shell from the high ground, as Bang was hoping that there would have been an expansion there. Doesn't catch anything, and now the poor medevac will be forced to back off here. Siege tanks just out of range on both sides. Alright, Hellbat now looking to do another bit of a drop. Oh, the missile turret is right there. Is it going to get shot down? Yes, there it goes. And all of the new physics coming into play, taking down that medevac as it was going full speed. The engine just flying very, very far. StarCraft, such a beautiful game to look at now. As, oh, the barracks will be burning to a crisp. And there it goes. Pieces landing in the cavern below. Alright, Bang sitting on about a 20 supply deficit. Harvester count, let's take a look at the income. 60 versus 59. And this is all very entertaining as we see Heart of the Swarm, Mech Wars 2013, Terran versus Terran. Hellbats versus Siege Tanks. And I gotta believe that Lucifron is actually gonna come out smelling like roses in this next engagement. You can see this very large attack force coming in. Here you go, siege tanks. Are they going to engage? There you go, Vikings, Hellbats, both sides. As the siege tanks of Lucifron are going to siege up. There you go. As the siege tanks here are rolling on in. Lucifron actually getting a bit flanked. And because Lucifron bothered to siege up his siege tank, there was about a 3-second time period where he wasn't dealing any damage. Lucifron now backing off here. He did lose a bit of units, as now the medevacs will trying to be landing. Will try to be landing under the missile turrets. Oh, this could be bad. Lucifron drops off 2 medevacs, or sorry, 2 Hellbats from that medevac. Down goes another SCV. Another SCV gonna get taken down here. Nope, not even bothering at all. Lucifron not getting very much out of that drop. 400 resources lost in just a matter of seconds. All right. Lucifron taking this opportunity to establish up his 4th base. His main base nearly mined out already, as SCVs are being transferred over. There they go. Missile turrets being placed down, as Hellbat drops are the new Blue Flame Hellion drops of 2011. Has it been that long? Siege tanks, Marines, Marauders, all ready to go. Lucifron now making his way down onto the low ground, but the destructible rock tower, oh, this could be huge here, as the siege tanks now completely get destroyed, but there are plenty of units up on the high ground. Vikings now going after medevacs here. Not enough Marines to really clean up the Vikings. I spoke too soon. Marines reaching there just in time, and this rock tower needs to take a little bit more damage, just so that any units that try to run underneath will actually suffer that full damage if they are their opponents. Alright, so siege tanks here. 1 very low hit point siege tank up on the high ground. Meanwhile, Marines and Marauders once again on the move. Upgrades going into 2-2 for the Terran Bio, along with 1-0 on the Terran Mech for MVP Bang. Meanwhile, Lucifron already with 2-1, soon to be 2-2 upgrades on the Terran Mech. Alright. Anything you can do, I can do as well, apparently, as Bang sets up his own sensor tower. Medevac now looking to back away once more. There is a Viking positioned right here. Gonna try and intercept this one. Oh, is it gonna go out of sight? Yes, no, one more round will do it. No afterburners, and there it goes. Afterburner just a little bit too late, as we now see more units come in from the high ground here. All right, Lucifron says, you know what? If I can drop into your natural or your third base, might as well try to drop into your natural expansion. But there is a missile turret there as well as, oh, an old-fashioned medevac drop going to get cleaned up. There is a planetary fortress nearby. And, oh, there goes an additional unit there. Siege tank's going to be brought over. That missile turret will burn to a crisp unless an SCV does repair it. Nope, apparently not worth it. Double missile turrets instead. Perhaps one more down here to prevent any more drops. But then siege tanks will be able to shell from above. Bang now coming in with the aggression. You can see a Hellbat drop here trying to clean up. A huge drop. And is this going to get spotted? This is huge, and I believe there's just enough room. Nope. In comes the units. They are going to fly straight on by. Missile turret trying to finish off, and this is going to be a drop straight up into the main base. And this is a 4 medevac drop. This is absolutely huge as Bang is dealing a devastating blow while defending his own natural. All the production buildings of Lucifron going down in just a matter of seconds. Siege tanks unable to get there. Vikings now cleaning up the medevacs. But the main DPS, the Marines, the Marauders, and that lone siege tank still a very, very large threat. Front door of Lucifron, a traffic jam on the I-5. Lucifron now trying to get in position, and he is taking a devastating blow. Siege tanks not even bothering to be in siege mode any longer, as they are just going to walk over. Vikings once more using that VTOL landing and cleaning up. Losses now higher for Lucifron after a brilliant 4 medevac drop into the main base. A lot was lost here, some production, but not much mining, and that's got to be a calculated risk. Losing a starport versus losing a siege tank, what is actually worth more? And that really makes you start to wonder in terms of the pace of the game. Losing those medevacs and losing all of those units, was that an efficient trade in terms of resources? Yes, a lot of production time will be lost as well, but Lucifron is now quickly double training up medevacs once more. He could easily build up more supply depots if he needed to. He doesn't need to, since he has additional command centers. All right, Vikings on the hunt, and wow, this is a huge move. Another one full medevac and a partially full medevac taken out in transit, as Bang now losing a bit more than he would have liked off of a bit of a curious play there. Bang trying to repeat, but Lucifron doesn't fall for the same trick twice. Not at all. O2 upgrades on those Vikings. The benefit of Terran now sharing upgrades on armor as the medevacs once more get shelled apart. Lucifron with air superiority with these Vikings. This is going to be a huge play. The Marines trying to get over there has not been able to do so. And what we may see now is perhaps some BM play where mules can be called down in order to start shelling and getting splash damage onto siege tanks. Minerals are in abundance for both players. They do not need to rack up anymore, as Lucifron now going into 3-3 upgrades on his siege tanks. Meanwhile, 3-3 upgrades most likely coming in on the units here as the siege tanks are already in siege mode. This is going to be a huge hit. Vikings taking down medevac after medevac, and once more, Tank Wars 2013. Tank count is 27 for Lucifron and 10 for Bang. However, Marauders are in that composition as well. Marines now trying to push their way forward. Are the Marauders going to be able to do enough? The Hellbats are there to absorb a bit of that damage, and that is an important thing to note, that the Hellbats are there. And there you have it. That is the reason why Hellbats are so strong. They are a Terran mech unit that has a lot of hit points that isn't armored, meaning that the Marauders, in order to even get close enough to those siege tanks, have to fire a lot of rounds at those Hellbats in order to deal the damage. All right, there you go. There's a bit of a range there once more. What is happening next as the siege tanks now getting into position? Lucifron sieging up on the far side here, and this is going to be a huge battle once more. Siege tanks able to shoot over the wall, taking down sensor towers. Meanwhile, the siege tanks now trying to battle it back here again. And with so many siege tanks by Lucifron, Bang is forced to lift off many of these buildings. And wow, even one of the refineries, I didn't even know a siege tank had enough range to take that down. Yeah, just enough to shoot it down there. All right. Oh, another Viking gets shot down. Another terrible loss for Bang, not paying attention to his units, as both sides have pretty much taken nearly all the mineral patches. Only one base is left on both. Here we go, siege tanks. Oh, one siege tank just inside sight range. Medevacs and air superiority. Even though Lucifron has the superior tank number, it's really been about Lucifron's superior Viking count. All right, SCVs. Is it on auto repair? No. Why is it even bothered? Why is it even here at this point? As Bang now making a move forward. Siege tanks now falling. Vikings going into that VTOL engage as the siege tanks now trying to engage here. Oh, Lucifron. Some of his siege tanks were not engaged at just the right or quote-unquote wrong time. The siege tanks now a bit too close. And so all of these siege tanks down to 1 hit point. A huge advantage for Bang. But he needs to repair these siege tanks in order to keep his advantage. Otherwise, that is going to be a quick loss there. All right, in comes the siege tanks. A Viking still being brought over to try and finish off the rest of the medevacs. And it looks like the Vikings will not be able to chase them off as the siege tanks now being brought over. All right, is this going to be another lot of siege tanks getting taken down? There you go. 1 round of siege tanks already gone. And the push back already coming in from Lucifron. Lucifron still with the siege tank superior, or a superior siege tank count. All right, mules now being called in every which way. You can see 4 versus 5 mules on the field, 60 harvesters versus 60 rather large armies. If you take into the fact that normally players at this point usually have around 80 harvesters, so the armies are much larger than we're used to seeing. 91 versus 98, and that is just going to continue to grow as more orbital commands are added. Siege tanks now continuing to be brought over. 1-0 on Bangs versus 3-3 on Lucifrons, and I am surprised that this engagement is still going as well as it is. Hellbat quickly torching everything to a crisp over here. Siege tanks now being brought over. SCVs coming over as well. What is this Hellbat going to do? He is going to hide and then try to engage once again. Vikings still picking off medevacs out of the skies as Bang's losses are inching higher and higher. Vikings, 5 of them in the air, now up to 9 on the field. We are now going into Ravens, and I really like Ravens in Heart of the Swarm. The fact that you do not have to research that Hunter-Seeker missile, or that Seeker missile, it can deal so much damage. As we can see another engagement once more. Marauders are upgraded 3-3, quickly taking down many of the siege tanks. And now we see another engagement here. But Lucifron's tank lines are just so far, so deep. Vikings accidentally landing here when they should have just been trying to take care of the skies. Lucifron now being forced to pull back with this orbital command as the planetary fortress and siege tanks are once more being brought over. Hellbats being brought over as well. Siege tank in the back dealing so much damage. Another round coming in as this one siege tank gets cleaned up. All right, medevac now once more in retreat. And this battle still shows no signs of letting up. Both sides engaging, both sides forced to retreat just to engage once again. But Lucifron now sitting on a 60 supply advantage, may be taking the necessary advantage to finish off his opponent. His army supply, 120 versus 77, almost 2-1 at this point. As Lucifron's units and the siege tanks have superior upgrades. Hellbats absorbing a bit of damage there. The Marauders only dealing 10 damage per attack, as the Hellbats do have full armor. They are slowed down, and once more the siege tanks and the Marauders getting absolutely pummeled. Thor, which should be using those high impact payloads instead, for some reason only using the Javelin missile launchers as opposed to the 250mm Punisher cannons coming in. All right, Marauders quickly stimming inside, getting and finishing off all those siege tanks, as we now see another push in here at the 3 o'clock expansion location. All right, Viking once more taken down as we see a beautiful push. Lucifron taking this time and just go, you know what? If you're going to push me from the top, I will push you from the bottom. And with this planetary fortress here, I believe I have superior upgrades, as you are also using Marauders while I'm just using siege tanks. All right, one siege tank in the back, still shelling down. Planetary Fortress should be able to repair. Siege tanks now should be able to make their way forward and position themselves right here. And that is going to be a difficult spot, as Bang is going to lose this expansion very, very easily, as the siege tanks on the high ground will be able to cut off any reinforcements. Hellbats quickly come in, finish off the rest of the siege tanks. There's those siege tanks on the high ground. And, oh, what is this? Scanner sweep from the low ground. Bang! Quickly able to take down a couple of siege tanks here. Lucifron still with a superior count. And Bang has to figure out how to get down to the low ground now. All right, Metavax should be coming in momentarily. Meanwhile, Bang coming back in. He is now about 3-1 behind in terms of army supply, and things are still not looking good. Harvester count 37 versus 56. Bang does have superior mule counts, though, giving him about an even setting or even footing at this point. All right, siege tanks in the center. All right, these siege tanks and Hellbats are not ready to go. Lucifron may end up losing all of this. They're going to try to engage. They're going to get taken down. Meanwhile, units onto the low ground. Hellbats here, finishing off all these units. Viking does spot up onto the high ground, but can't really do anything about it. Marauders and the Marines are finishing off all of these command centers as they're trying to be built. The Marauders and the Marines are doing a suicide run inside. Is it going to be enough to take the game? I do not believe so, as there is not much inside here at all. The attack force now quickly dwindling. SCVs now doing a bit of long distance mining, only to find a siege tank there. And there is the GG. Bang losing his first game as he helps, or as Lucifron helps his team make it 1-2. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.